What is money? Is it the paper in your wallet? The numbers on a screen? We spend our lives chasing it, but few of us ever stop to ask what it truly is. The answer is far stranger than you think. This is the Financial Historian, where money, power, and history collide, and nothing is ever as simple as it looks. Money isn't a thing. It's a story. It's a system of belief, a shared illusion that gives worthless objects immense power. To understand how this story was written, we need to go back to the beginning. Before money, there was barter. But trading your cow for 1,000 chickens is impractical. The double coincidence of wants made life impossible. So humanity found commodity money, objects with their own intrinsic value. Salt for Roman soldiers, shells in Africa, cocoa beans for the Aztecs. These were the first currencies, but they were heavy, perishable, and hard to divide. They were a step up, but still clumsy. The first true revolution was metal. Gold and silver were durable, portable, and rare. But it was the act of coinage that changed everything. When a king stamped his face on a piece of gold, he wasn't just guaranteeing its weight. He was turning a metal into a symbol of his power. The coin's value was no longer just the gold, but the trust in the authority that issued it. The next great leap of faith came from the goldsmiths of 17th century London. People stored their gold for safekeeping and used the paper receipts as a convenient way to trade. This was representative money. The paper had no value, but it was a promise, a claim on the real gold in the vault. The story was becoming more abstract. The paper was just a placeholder for the real thing. Then, in 1971, the story changed forever. The United States severed the dollar's last link to gold. From that moment on, the money in your pocket became fiat money, backed by nothing but government decree and our collective confidence. The promise of gold was replaced by the promise of a promise. And this is where the real mystery begins. But who creates this fiat money? It's not just the government printing press. Today, the vast majority of money is created by private banks every time they issue a loan. When you take out a mortgage, the bank doesn't lend you someone else's savings. It creates new digital dollars on its ledger, born from debt. Your liability becomes the bank's asset. This is the central paradox of our system. Nearly every dollar in existence is also a unit of debt. Money is created when someone borrows, and it disappears when the loan is repaid. The entire economy is built on this ever-expanding cycle of credit and liability. The system requires debt to function. If everyone paid off all their debts, the money supply would vanish. Think about that. But what happens when the story breaks? When people stop believing in the promise? We've seen it before. In Weimar Germany, in Zimbabwe, in Venezuela. When confidence collapses, governments print more and more, trying to paper over the cracks. But the money becomes worthless. This is hyperinflation, the brutal end of the story. So, the money we use is not wealth. It is a claim on wealth. A sophisticated IOU circulating in a global system of trust. It's a tool, a symbol, and a story we all agree to believe in. For now. The true power of money is not in its material form, but in the collective human agreement to value it. And that agreement is always subject to change. If this gave you a new perspective, hit subscribe. History has the answers. I'll show you where to look. Let me know in the comments, what do you think money really is?